On November 6th, 2025, something happened that most people missed. While you were scrolling through your feed, a room full of shareholders just voted to make one man richer than any human being in history. Not by a little, by a lot. They approved a compensation package worth $1 trillion. That's not a typo. 1 trillion with a T. To put that in perspective, if Elon Musk earns every penny of this deal, he'll be making $275 million per day for the next decade. That's more than most Fortune 500 CEOs make in their entire careers, every single day, before breakfast. But here's the part that should terrify you. This isn't just about money, it's about control. Control over an army of robots, control over the future of transportation, and control over a technology that could either save humanity or enslave it. This is the story of how one man went from sleeping on couches to becoming the world's first trillionaire, and why that should keep you up at night. November 6th, 2025, Austin, Texas. Tesla's annual shareholder meeting. The room is packed with investors, analysts, and believers. Outside, protesters hold signs questioning whether any human should be worth $1 trillion. Inside, none of that matters. On the table sits the most audacious pay package in corporate history. The atmosphere is electric. This isn't just another shareholder vote. This is a referendum on the future of wealth, power, and technology itself. The terms are simple, but the implications are staggering. If Elon Musk can grow Tesla's market value from $1.5 trillion to $8.5 trillion, a 466% increase, he gets nearly $1 trillion in Tesla stock. Not cash, stock, which means more ownership, more control, more power. The package is structured in 12 equal milestones. Each milestone unlocks 35.25 million shares. Do the math. That's $83 billion per milestone. More than the entire net worth of Mark Zuckerberg or Warren Buffett. And Musk needs to hit all 12 to become a trillionaire. But the milestones aren't just about stock price. Tesla must deliver 20 million vehicles annually. That's more than Toyota and Volkswagen combined. The company must deploy 1 million humanoid robots in real-world applications. Not prototypes, not demos, actual working robots in factories, hospitals, and homes. And Tesla must operate 1 million robotaxis on public roads, ferrying passengers without human drivers. These aren't predictions, they're contractual obligations. If Musk fails even one, he loses hundreds of billions. 75% of voting shareholders said yes. The room erupted in applause. Believers cheered. Skeptics shook their heads. But the decision was made. Elon Musk was officially on the fastest track to becoming the world's first trillionaire. But not everyone was celebrating. Norway's sovereign wealth fund, one of the largest and most sophisticated investors in the world, managing over $2 trillion in assets, voted no. They issued a statement calling the package excessive and warning about the concentration of power in one individual. Glass Lewis and ISS, the two most respected proxy advisory firms on Wall Street, urged shareholders to reject the deal. They called it unprecedented in size and expressed unmitigated concerns about its design. They warned that it would dilute existing shareholders and create dangerous key person risk. Even religious leaders weighed in. Pope Leo XIII, in a rare public statement about capitalism, questioned what it means for society when one person can accumulate $1 trillion while billions of people struggle to afford basic necessities. Labor unions across America condemned the package, pointing out that $1 trillion could fund universal health care, forgive student debt, or rebuild crumbling infrastructure. But their voices were drowned out by the believers, the Tesla faithful, the people who think Elon Musk is humanity's best shot at a better future. And so, the vote passed. And with it, Elon Musk officially became the man on the fastest track to becoming the world's first trillionaire. The question is, how did we get here? How did a kid from South Africa with nothing become the richest and most powerful person on Earth? To understand how we got here, you have to go back, way back, to a kid in South Africa who read science fiction and dreamed of Mars. Elon Reeve Musk was born in Pretoria in 1971. His father was an engineer. His mother was a model. By all accounts, it was not a happy childhood. Musk has described his father as psychologically abusive and emotionally manipulative. School was worse. He was bullied relentlessly. One time, a group of boys threw him down a flight of stairs and beat him until he was hospitalized. He spent most of his childhood alone, reading. Isaac Asimov, Douglas Adams, Robert Heinlein. Science fiction became his escape, and Mars became his obsession. At 17, Musk left South Africa with nothing but a backpack, a few $100s, and a chip on his shoulder. He moved to Canada to avoid mandatory military service in apartheid South Africa. He had no job, no connections, no safety net. He slept on his cousin's couch. He showered at the YMCA. He survived on hot dogs and oranges, the cheapest calories he could find. He worked odd jobs. He chopped logs. He cleaned boilers. He did whatever it took to survive. But survival wasn't enough. He wanted to change the world. He enrolled at Queen's University in Ontario, then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania. He double majored in physics and economics, not because he loved school, but because he believed those were the disciplines that would let him solve humanity's biggest problems: energy, transportation, and space exploration. After graduation, he got accepted to Stanford for a PhD in physics. He lasted 2 days, because while he was sitting in class, the internet was exploding. And Musk didn't want to study the future. He wanted to build it. So he dropped out and co-founded Zip2, a company that provided online city guides for newspapers. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't revolutionary, but it worked. In 1999, Compaq bought Zip2 for $307 million. Musk walked away with $22 million. He was 27 years old. Most people would retire, buy a mansion, relax. Musk did the opposite. He bet everything on his next idea, an online bank called X.com. X.com eventually merged with another startup and became PayPal. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion. Musk, as the largest shareholder, walked away with $180 million after taxes. He was 31 years old and worth more than most people earn in 100 lifetimes. And once again, most people would stop. Diversify. Play it safe. But Musk doesn't do safe. He did something insane. He bet everything, every dollar, on two ideas that everyone said were impossible: electric cars and rockets. In 2004, Musk invested in a tiny startup called Tesla Motors. The idea was simple: build an electric car that didn't suck. At the time, electric cars were golf carts, slow, ugly, and impractical. Musk wanted to build something people would actually want to drive. A car that was fast, sexy, and zero emission. Critics laughed. Investors said it would never work. The automotive industry was a graveyard for startups. But Musk didn't care. He poured $70 million of his own money into Tesla and became chairman of the board. At the same time, he founded SpaceX with a single goal: make humanity a multi-planetary species. His plan was to build reusable rockets that could dramatically lower the cost of space travel. Every aerospace expert on Earth told him he was crazy. Rockets had never been successfully reused. The physics were impossible. The economics didn't work. NASA had tried for decades and failed. What made him think a startup with no experience could succeed? But Musk had studied the problem. He'd read every rocket science textbook he could find. He believed it was possible. So he invested $100 million, more than half his fortune, into SpaceX. For the next 4 years, both companies nearly died. Tesla couldn't manufacture cars at scale. Every roadster they built lost money. Production delays mounted, costs spiraled, suppliers sued. Musk was working 100-hour weeks, splitting his time between Tesla in California and SpaceX in Texas. Meanwhile, SpaceX's first 3 rocket launches all failed. Explosions, crashes, millions of dollars vaporized in seconds. By 2008, both companies were weeks from bankruptcy. Musk had to choose: save Tesla or save SpaceX. He couldn't afford both. It was Christmas 2008. The financial crisis had destroyed the global economy. Credit markets froze. Investors vanished. Musk was out of money. He split his last $40 million between the two companies, hoping one would survive. He couldn't pay his rent. He borrowed money from friends to cover personal expenses. And then, on Christmas Eve, NASA called. They awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to resupply the International Space Station. SpaceX was saved. Tesla survived by a thread. Musk convinced investors to do one more funding round, just days before the company would have run out of cash. Over the next 15 years, he turned Tesla from a failing startup into the most valuable car company on Earth, worth more than Toyota, Ford, and GM combined. He turned SpaceX into the only company that can reliably launch humans into space. And in the process, Musk became the richest person in human history. By 2025, his net worth hit $473 billion. More than Jeff Bezos, more than Bernard Arnault, more than anyone who has ever lived. But for Musk, $473 billion wasn't enough. Because what he wanted wasn't just money. It was something much bigger, something darker, something that would change everything. Here's where the story gets strange and scary. During Tesla's shareholder meeting in November 2025, Elon Musk barely talked about cars. He didn't discuss the Model 3 or the Model Y or the Cybertruck. Instead, he spent most of his time talking about robots. Humanoid robots, called Optimus, and autonomous robotaxis that would drive themselves through cities while you sleep. These weren't side projects. According to Musk, these were Tesla's future. The car business? That was just the warm-up. He told investors that humanoid robots would be the biggest product of all time, by far. Bigger than smartphones, bigger than cars, bigger than the internet. He said every human on Earth will want their own personal robot assistant. A mechanical servant that can cook, clean, do laundry, mow the lawn, walk the dog, and care for elderly parents. He claimed Tesla could manufacture them for $20,000 each and sell them for the price of a car. He said they could perform surgery, work in factories, build houses, and eliminate global poverty. 1 million robots deployed by 2030, 10 million by 2035, 100 million by 2040. The numbers back him up. The global humanoid robot market is projected to explode from $2.92 billion in 2025 to $15.26 billion by 2030. That's a 39.2% annual growth rate. Some analysts predict it could reach $38 billion by 2035, or even $59 billion by 2029 if adoption accelerates. The demand is being driven by aging populations, labor shortages, and breakthroughs in artificial intelligence that make robots smarter, safer, and more capable than ever before. Asia Pacific is leading the charge, with China, Japan, and South Korea investing billions in robotics research and deployment. North America and Europe are racing to catch up. Bold claims, unproven technology. But Musk has a track record of making the impossible happen. He built electric cars when everyone said it couldn't be done. He built reusable rockets when every expert said it was impossible. He put a car in space just because he could. So when Musk says robots will change the world, people listen. Investors believe. Stock prices soar. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. During Tesla's October 2024 earnings call, an analyst asked Musk why he needed such a massive pay package. Musk's answer was chilling. He said, and I quote, "It's not like I'm going to go spend the money. I'm not buying some big yacht. There needs to be enough voting control to give me strong influence over that robot army. I don't feel comfortable wielding that robot army if I don't have at least a strong influence." Robot army. He said it twice. Not robots, not products, not technology. Army. A military term. A term that implies force, control, and power. Think about that for a second. The richest man in the world just told you in plain English on a recorded earnings call that he wants control over millions of autonomous robots. And he wants your approval, through stock ownership, to have that control. This isn't science fiction. This isn't a dystopian movie. This is November 2025. This is real, and it's happening right now. Elon Musk is openly stating that he needs ownership and control of an army of humanoid robots, and 75% of Tesla shareholders just voted to give it to him. Let's break down what has to happen for Musk to actually earn this $1 trillion. Because it's not automatic, it's not guaranteed, and frankly, it might be impossible. Tesla's market cap today is roughly $1.5 trillion. That already makes it more valuable than every other car company on Earth combined. To unlock the full $1 trillion pay package, Tesla's market cap needs to hit $8.5 trillion. That's more than Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia combined. It would make Tesla more valuable than the entire GDP of Germany or Japan. But that's not all. The deal also requires specific operational milestones. Tesla must deliver 20 million vehicles per year. Currently, they deliver about 4 million. That's a 5x increase. In an industry where scaling production is brutally difficult and capital intensive, where supply chains break, factories fail, and competitors don't sit still, Tesla must also deploy 1 million humanoid robots in real-world commercial applications. Not demos, not prototypes. Actual working robots being used by businesses and consumers. And Tesla must operate 1 million fully autonomous robotaxis on public roads. Not supervised self-driving, not beta testing. Fully autonomous vehicles with no human driver. operating legally in cities around the world. The robotaxi rollout has already begun. Tesla launched its first driverless ride-hailing service in Austin, Texas, on June 22, 2025. Just 10 vehicles at first. Then they expanded to the Bay Area of California. Now they're planning to launch in Las Vegas, Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, and Miami. Musk says the goal is to reach half the US population by the end of 2025. But there are problems, big problems. Tesla hasn't completed the necessary regulatory paperwork in Arizona and Nevada. The company is lagging on the most basic compliance requirements. And even in cities where they do operate, robotaxis still require human safety drivers. True Level 4 autonomy, where the car drives itself with no human intervention, isn't expected until 2026 at the earliest. And then there's the safety question. Tesla's full self-driving system currently performs 10.5 times better than the average human driver. That sounds impressive, but it's still far behind Waymo, which has logged millions of miles with 0 fatalities. Tesla has had accidents, close calls, near misses. Every incident erodes public trust and invites regulatory scrutiny. One major crash could shut down the entire program. If Musk pulls this off, his stake in Tesla rises from 13% to nearly 29%. That's ironclad voting control. The kind of control that makes you untouchable. The kind of control that lets you do whatever you want. The kind of control that lets you build and command a robot army. The package is structured in 12 equal installments. Every time Tesla hits a milestone, Musk gets 35.25 million shares. If he gets all of them, it works out to $83 billion per milestone, or $275 million per day for a decade. To put that in perspective, the 10 richest Americans, including Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett, gained $69.8 billion combined in the past year. That's 833,631 times what the average American household earns. Musk alone could earn more in 90 days than all of them earned in a year. One person, 90 days. More wealth than 10 billionaires combined earned in 12 months. That's not just rich, that's a new category of wealth. That's trillionaire. But there's a catch, a big one. Because while the potential payoff is astronomical, the risk is enormous. Tesla is struggling. Sales fell in the first half of 2025 for the first time in over a decade. Profits dropped 23% year over year. Competitors like BYD in China are eating Tesla's lunch, selling cheaper electric vehicles with better battery technology. Governments around the world are slashing EV subsidies as budget deficits balloon. And consumer demand for electric vehicles has plateaued as charging infrastructure remains inadequate and range anxiety persists. And then there's Musk himself. In early 2025, he took a leadership role at the newly created Department of Government Efficiency, a White House initiative to cut federal spending. He spent months in Washington, meeting with politicians, testifying before Congress, and barely showing up to Tesla. The stock collapsed, down 43% between January and March. Investors panicked. Analysts downgraded the stock. Institutional funds dumped shares. The message from Wall Street was clear. Musk's absence was destroying shareholder value. Tesla's board warned publicly that Musk might leave the company entirely if he didn't get the pay package. They argued that without this deal, Musk would focus on SpaceX, Neuralink, and his other ventures. They said Tesla needed him full-time, that he was irreplaceable, that losing him would be catastrophic. The message was clear. Give him control or lose him. It was corporate blackmail, and it worked. Since stepping back from Doge in late March, Tesla's stock recovered. But the damage was done. The volatility exposed a terrifying truth. Tesla isn't just a car company. It's a one-man cult of personality. Without Musk, it's just another automaker fighting for market share in a commoditized industry. With Musk, it's a trillion-dollar technology company with dreams of robots and Mars colonies. Ron Barron, a billionaire investor and one of Tesla's largest individual shareholders, said it plainly. Without Musk, Tesla wouldn't exist. It would be worth maybe $50 billion instead of $1.5 trillion. That's key person risk, the single point of failure, the Achilles heel, the thing that keeps institutional investors up at night. And yet, 75% of shareholders still voted yes. Why? Because they believe. They believe Musk can do the impossible. They believe in the robots, the robotaxis, the Mars colonies. They believe that betting against Elon Musk is the worst investment decision you can make. They've seen him prove the doubters wrong again and again, and they're willing to gamble their money and maybe humanity's future on him doing it one more time. So what does this have to do with you? Everything. Because if Musk succeeds, the world changes. Fundamentally, irreversibly. Self-driving cars become ubiquitous. Millions of truckers, delivery drivers, Uber drivers, and taxi drivers lose their jobs. There are 3.5 million truck drivers in America alone. Another 1.5 million delivery drivers. 500,000 taxi and rideshare drivers. That's 5.5 million jobs that could vanish in a decade. Entire industries collapse. Unemployment soars. Families lose income. Communities crumble. Humanoid robots start showing up in warehouses, hospitals, restaurants, and homes. They replace factory workers, nurses, janitors, and caregivers. Amazon already uses 750,000 robots in its fulfillment centers. Walmart is testing shelf-stocking robots in hundreds of stores. Fast food chains are deploying burger-flipping robots. And elder care facilities are experimenting with companion robots for lonely seniors. Labor markets implode. Wages stagnate. The value of human work plummets. By 2035, some economists predict that 30% of all jobs could be automated. That's 50 million Americans out of work. The 10 richest Americans already control more wealth than the bottom 50% of the country combined. If Musk becomes a trillionaire, that gap becomes a canyon, a chasm, an unbridgeable divide between the ultra-rich and everyone else. We're not talking about inequality anymore. We're talking about a new feudalism, a world where a tiny number of people own the machines, the robots, and the infrastructure of daily life, and everyone else rents access to survive. You won't own a car.
You'll subscribe to a robotaxi service. You won't hire a nurse. You'll lease a caretaker robot. You won't control your livelihood. An algorithm will. But there's something deeper, something more unsettling, something that should keep you up at night. We're watching the birth of a new kind of power. Not political power, not military power, but technological power. The power to own the infrastructure of daily life. The power to control autonomous machines that see, think, move, and act. The power to decide who gets a robotaxi, who gets a humanoid assistant, who gets access to the future. And we're handing that power to one man. Not because we voted for him, not because we trust him, but because he's smart, because he's visionary, because he's Elon Musk. But history has a warning for us, a lesson we keep forgetting. Every time humanity has concentrated too much power in the hands of one person, it has ended badly. Kings became tyrants, emperors waged wars, dictators committed genocides. Monopolists crushed competition and exploited workers. Think about John D. Rockefeller and Standard Oil. At his peak, Rockefeller controlled 90% of America's oil refineries. He set prices. He destroyed competitors. He corrupted politicians. It took the Supreme Court to break up his monopoly in 1911. Think about Andrew Carnegie and steel, J.P. Morgan and banking. These men controlled entire industries, and they used that control to accumulate obscene wealth, while workers toiled in dangerous conditions for pennies. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's not a cliche, it's a pattern, a law of human nature. And yet, here we are, doing it again. This time, the monopoly isn't oil or steel or railroads. It's intelligence, artificial intelligence, embodied in robots that can see, think, move, and act. Robots that could build houses or destroy them. Robots that could care for the elderly or control them. Robots that could liberate humanity or enslave it. And the man who controls them will be worth $1 trillion. Here's the part that keeps me up at night. Elon Musk has already said on the record that he doesn't want the money to spend it. He doesn't want a yacht. He doesn't want a private island. He doesn't want a life of luxury. He wants the control. He wants to make sure that if Tesla builds millions of robots, he has strong influence over them. Not total control, just enough that shareholders can still fire him if he goes insane. Those are his words, not mine. That means even Elon Musk acknowledges the possibility that this could go wrong, that the concentration of power could corrupt, that the robot army could be misused, that he, personally, might not be trustworthy with that much control. And yet, the deal passed. The checks and balances? A board that he essentially hand-picked. Shareholders who worship him. And a public that's too distracted, too exhausted, too overwhelmed to notice. Meanwhile, Norway's sovereign wealth fund, one of the most sophisticated and ethical investors in the world, said no. They cited concerns about total size of the award, dilution, and lack of mitigation of key person risk. Translation: this is too much power for one person. Too much risk, too much wealth, too much everything. But they were outvoted. Democracy lost to devotion. Prudence lost to belief. And now we're all along for the ride, whether we like it or not. So here's the question you need to sit with. The question you need to ask yourself before you go to bed tonight. Do you trust one man, no matter how brilliant, no matter how visionary, no matter how successful, with $1 trillion and an army of robots? Do you trust that he won't abuse that power? That he won't make a mistake? That the safeguards will work? That the board will act? That shareholders will intervene if something goes wrong? Because that's the bet we just made. Not with our votes, not with our voices, but with our silence, with our indifference, with our willingness to look away while history's greatest concentration of wealth and power happens right in front of us. The world's first trillionaire isn't coming. He's already here. The robotaxis are rolling out in 5 new cities as we speak. The humanoid robots are being tested in factories across 3 continents. The $1 trillion market cap is within reach. And the only question left is, what happens when he arrives? What happens when one person has enough money to buy governments, enough robots to replace workforces, enough power to reshape civilization? What happens when the machines we built to serve us are controlled by someone who sees himself as humanity's shepherd? What happens when we realize we gave away too much, too fast,
to one man who promised us the future, but never asked what we were willing to sacrifice to get there. We're about to find out, and we might not like the answer.